If you're planning to sell something online tonight, watch this first. Online marketplaces, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and local buy-sell apps make it easy to meet strangers. Most of the time, nothing happens. You make the deal, you go home. But sometimes, you don't just sell an item. Sometimes, you give a stranger a way into your life. Welcome to Midnight Files. Tonight, 3 allegedly true stories. Each one starts with a simple listing and ends with something a lot darker. The empty house. The first story comes from a viewer we'll call Mark, who was just trying to sell an old console. Mark: this happened about 2 years ago. I was a broke college student behind on rent, and I needed cash fast. So I listed my PlayStation 4, priced to sell quickly. Within an hour, someone messaged me. The profile name was just Greg. No profile picture, no small talk, just, "I want it. Can I pick it up tonight?" It was already past 9 p.m. I told him tomorrow would be better. He replied immediately, "Can only do tonight. I have cash now." And I needed the money. So I agreed. He sent an address about 20 minutes away, an older neighborhood, quiet streets. When I got there around 10:15, the street was dead silent. The house looked run down, but the strangest part was the lights. There were no lights on anywhere, not inside, not outside, like it was abandoned. I parked and texted, "I'm here," immediately. The front door creaked open a few inches. A voice called from the pitch-black interior, "Come on up, I have the money." Every instinct told me to leave, but I grabbed the console and walked up, stopping a few steps short of the porch. I said, "Can you step outside?" A man moved into the doorway, tall, face hidden by darkness, hooded jacket, even though it was a warm night. He didn't reach for the box, he didn't show cash. He just stared and said, "You need to come inside so I can test it." I said, "There aren't any lights on. How are you gonna test it?" He took a step closer, then another. "Just come inside." And right then, I heard movement in the bushes to my left, near the side of the house. Not a small sound, something heavy, trying not to be seen. That was it. I turned and ran. I sprinted back to my car, threw the console onto the passenger seat, and locked the doors. My hands were shaking on the wheel. As I pulled away, I looked in the rearview mirror. Greg was standing in the middle of the street, watching me. And from the side of the house, a second figure stepped out to stand beside him. I deleted the listing the moment I got home. I never found out what they planned to do, and I'm glad I didn't. If a buyer insists on meeting late or tries to pull you into a dark house, that's not a deal. That's a setup. A few months ago, I needed a cheap car for work. I found a 2010 Civic on Craigslist, priced way below market value. The listing said the owner was moving and needed it gone fast. It sounded too good to be true. That should have been my first warning. I spoke to the seller. He called himself Vince. We agreed to meet in a busy shopping center parking lot at 6 p.m. Public place. Daylight? Perfect. I arrived early and waited. Then at 6:05, my phone buzzed. Vince said, "I'm sorry, the car's overheating. I pulled over near the industrial park off exit 4. Can you meet me here? I don't want to drive it further." Against my better judgment, I said yes. The industrial park was empty. No street lights, no traffic. Just dark warehouses that looked shut down for the night. Then I saw it. The silver Civic was parked near a chain-link fence at the far end of a gravel lot. Hood up. A guy leaned over the engine. I parked about 20 feet back, engine running, headlights on. I got out, but left my door slightly open. "Vince?" I called. He stood up, and instantly something felt off. He didn't look stressed. He looked tense, and he was wearing gloves. "Yeah," he said. "Thanks for coming. Take a look." As I walked closer, my headlights lit up the inside of the car, and I noticed the back windows were heavily tinted. I leaned toward the engine and caught something in the reflection on the car's paint. Movement. Inside the car. I straightened up fast and stared at the back seat. Through the tint, I could barely make out a silhouette. Someone crouched low on the floorboards, waiting. Vince saw my face change. His expression hardened, and his hand went to his waistband. I didn't wait to see what he had. I ran back to my car, jumped in, slammed the door, and reversed hard, gravel spraying behind me. He shouted something and rushed toward my car, but I was already gone. I reported the listing, but that cheap car wasn't a deal. It was bait. The last story is the worst one, because it didn't end in a parking lot. It ended at home. Story 3. The return visitors. I was moving out of state and selling furniture. I listed a large sectional sofa on Facebook Marketplace. A woman messaged me. Polite, normal. She said she and her husband wanted it. Their profiles looked real. Vacation photos, a dog, everything. They arrived around 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. Nice couple in their 40s. They came in, sat on the couch, asked normal questions. But the husband was wrong. While his wife negotiated, he drifted away, into my kitchen, then stared down the hallway toward the bedrooms. He came back smiling and said, "Nice place. You live here all by yourself?" It was casual, but something about the way he asked made my skin crawl. So I lied. "No," I said. "My boyfriend will be home any minute." He gave this tight smile that never reached his eyes. Got it. They paid cash, loaded the couch, and left. I locked the deadbolt and tried to laugh it off. But that night, the feeling didn't go away. I went to bed around 11. My bedroom was upstairs, facing the street. At 2:37 a.m., I woke up. At first, I couldn't tell why. Then I heard it, my front doorknob turning, slowly, then rattling harder. Testing the lock, I grabbed my phone and crept to the window, peeking through the blinds. Across the street, lights off, was the same truck they used earlier, parked like it belonged there. Then I heard heavy footsteps on my porch, a low, rhythmic thudding, like someone throwing their shoulder into the door. I dialed 911, whispering my address. And then, silence. For a second, I thought they left. But a moment later, glass shattered at the back of my house, the kitchen window. They were inside. I locked my bedroom door and hid in the closet, still on the line with the dispatcher. Downstairs, I heard boots on hardwood, cabinets opening, drawers sliding. Then the stairs, slow steps. Coming up, they stopped right outside my bedroom door. The doorknob jiggled, and a man's voice whispered, calm, close and certain, "We know you're in there." Then, faint at first, police sirens, getting louder fast. The footsteps backed away immediately, down the stairs out the back. Seconds later, the truck peeled away, just as red and blue lights flooded my bedroom walls. The police never caught them, but in my kitchen, they found zip ties and a roll of duct tape sitting on the counter, like they'd been set out for later. I moved out the next day, and I will never sell anything from my home again. Meet in public, stay in well-lit areas. Bring someone with you, and if anything feels wrong, leave. This is Midnight Files. If you have a true story you want to share, check the description, subscribe, and stay safe in the dark.